Some houses hold memories, others become them. Tonight's tale takes us to a place no map dares mark. A house that dreams when the world sleeps and feeds on the ones who wake it.
Urban explorers chase what others are too afraid to find, but Caleb wasn't chasing fear. He was chasing relevance. His channel was dying, views dropping, comments fading. One more video, or everything he built disappeared. So when whispers of a house with no address surfaced online, he saw opportunity. No records, no listings, just a name buried in threads. The house that sleeps. And a warning, don't go at night. To Caleb, it was perfect. Urban legend, missing people, no confirmed history. Exactly the kind of content that could bring his channel back to life. He hyped it up for days. The house that sleeps. We're going inside. We're staying the night. His friends laughed it off, but they followed. For the views, for the thrill, for the moment, before everything changed. They found it just before sunset, at the end of a road that didn't exist on any map. The house stood alone, massive, still watching. 3 stories tall, windows dark but not broken. The wood wasn't rotting, just aged, preserved. The front porch sagged slightly, but the door stood perfectly upright, as if it had been waiting. No overgrown vines choking it, no signs of collapse. Just silence and something else, a feeling, like the house already knew they were coming. The Whitlocks were a prominent family, wealthy, respected, a name that carried influence. But behind the doors of that house, they were grieving. They had a child, a baby, no more than a year old, and the child died. Thomas Whitlock couldn't bear it. He wanted everything gone, the toys, the room, the cradle, but Eleanor refused. She wouldn't let go, so they compromised. They moved the cradle to the attic, but grief doesn't stay where you put it. Every night, Eleanor returned to the attic. She sat beside the cradle, rocking it, as if her child were still there. She spoke to it, sang to it, waited for it, and one night, it answered. The house grew quieter, stiller, and then the sleep began, deep, heavy, unnatural. People stopped waking up. Not just the Whitlocks, the servants, the maids, the groundskeepers, even the animals. No bodies were found, no signs of struggle, only silence and whispers coming from inside the walls. The moment the door opened, the air shifted. Not cold, not warm, just still. Like stepping into something that had been waiting. The inside was normal. Not abandoned, not broken, not disturbed. The layout made sense. A proper estate, parlor to the left, dining room straight ahead, stairs curving upward like something out of another time. But something wasn't right. There was no dust, not a single speck. No sheets draped over furniture, no decay, no scent of age. One of Caleb's friends ran her fingers across a table and pulled them back. Clean, too clean. Caleb suggested they split up, cover more ground, get better footage. One went upstairs, one stayed near the back rooms. Caleb and the others moved through the main hall. It wasn't long before they regrouped. And that's when they noticed. One of them was missing. At first, they laughed it off, assumed he was playing around, trying to scare them. Calling out his name, no answer. They checked the rooms he said he'd be in. Nothing. No footsteps, no doors opening, no sign he had ever been there at all. And that's when the house felt different, closer. But the deeper they went, the quieter it got, like the house was swallowing the sound. And then they found it. The attic door, nailed shut from the inside. When they forced it open, they were suddenly somewhere else, standing in a room they didn't recognize. It was a fragment of a memory, but someone else's memory. Caleb recognized what it was. It was in a thread. He read about the history of the estate. This was Eleanor Whitlock's memory. Eleanor was the last. By then, she understood. Not everything, but enough. Enough to know the house was no longer a home. It wasn't anger. It wasn't revenge. It was loneliness. It was a place that kept what it loved. The child didn't want to be alone, so the house began to keep them, one by one, pulling them into sleep so they could stay together. She climbed the attic stairs one final time and nailed it shut. She returned to the cradle and rocked it. She said sweetly to the cradle that he would never be alone again. And then she disappeared. The others screamed. They weren't seeing the attic. They were seeing him, their missing friend, standing in the hallway, confused, calling out to them, and then he froze. His body stiffened, and slowly he sank, not falling, tanking into the floor, still reaching, still aware, until he was gone. They all came back at once, gasping, shaking, terrified. They ran to the front door. It wouldn't budge. They pulled, they slammed, they begged. The house didn't answer. One of them collapsed. No warning, no sound, and before Caleb could reach him, he sank straight into the floor, like the house had opened beneath him and swallowed him whole. Only Caleb and one other friend remained, desperate, panicked. They forced the door open and ran through hallways that twisted, past rooms that felt too still, toward anything that looked like an exit. Caleb turned a corner, ran through a door, and it shut behind him. He turned back. His friend was on the other side, pounding on the door once, and then nothing. The door swallowed him. Now Caleb was alone. He stumbled into the foyer, the front door just ahead, freedom within reach, and then he felt it, a weight pressing down on him. Inside him, he dropped to the floor, tried to move, tried to crawl. He dragged himself forward, closer, closer, but something was wrong. He couldn't feel his legs. He looked back, and half his body was gone. And then the house showed him one last thing: the attic, the cradle, and around it, everyone. Eleanor, Thomas, his friends, strangers, all standing, still, watching. In the cradle, the child, it moved. Slowly, it turned its head and looked at him. They locked eyes. And in that moment, Caleb understood. He wasn't being taken. He was being kept. And then, he was gone. Some houses are built to shelter you. This one is built to keep you. And once it lets you in, you never walk out. You settle in forever.